The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council station hummed with tension as Ambassador Keyleth of the Zephyrian Empire rose from her hovering seat. Her bioluminescent scales flickered with barely contained irritation as she addressed the assembled representatives of 47 species. "The human problem has escalated beyond acceptable parameters," she announced, her voice translated into dozens of languages through neural implants. "In the past solar cycle alone, they have established colonies in 17 contested systems, developed weapons that defy our understanding of physics, and worst of all, they refuse to acknowledge our authority." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Galactic Council had maintained order for millennia, guiding younger species with wisdom earned through eons of experience. Every civilization eventually learned their place in the cosmic hierarchy. Every civilization except one. "The solution is clear," continued Veltar, the insectoid delegate from the Hive Confederation. His mandibles clicked rhythmically as he spoke. "We implement Protocol 7, complete communication blackout, cut their quantum networks, jam their subspace frequencies, isolate them until they submit." Admiral Chen Wei sat silently in the human delegation's corner, her weathered face betraying nothing. At 63, she had seen humanity rise from a species barely capable of reaching their own moon to masters of faster-than-light travel. The council members spoke as if she weren't there, as if humans were merely a problem to be solved rather than beings capable of understanding their words. "Protocol 7 has never failed," added the ethereal representative from the Lumina Collective, its voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Isolation breeds desperation. Desperation breeds compliance." Chen finally stood, her simple blue uniform stark against the elaborate robes and biomechanical enhancements of the other delegates. "You're making a mistake." The chamber fell silent. Keyleth's scales shifted to an angry crimson. "The human speaks out of turn. Again." "I speak when truth needs to be heard," Chen replied calmly. "You think silence will break us. You don't understand what you're dealing with." "Enlighten us," Veltar clicked mockingly. "What makes your species so special? You're barely 3 centuries into space travel. We were building star bridges when your world was still cooling." Chen smiled, and something in that expression made several delegates unconsciously shift away from her. "You've never been alone, not really. Every species here developed under the Council's guidance. You learned to reach for the stars because someone taught you how. You expanded because someone showed you where. You've forgotten what it means to face the void with nothing but determination and spite." "Primitive barbarism," Keyleth dismissed. "No," Chen said quietly. "Humanity." The vote was unanimous, 47 species against 1. Protocol 7 was activated within hours. Every human colony, every ship, every outpost suddenly found themselves cut off from the galactic communication network. Quantum entanglement communicators failed. Subspace transmitters fell silent. Even basic navigation beacons went dark. The Council waited. Previous applications of Protocol 7 had produced results within weeks. The isolated species would send desperate transmissions, pleading for readmission to galactic society. They would accept any terms, surrender any freedoms, just to no longer be alone in the vast darkness between stars. Weeks passed, then months. No transmissions came from human space. "Perhaps they've destroyed themselves," suggested the reptilian delegate from Keros Prime. "Isolation-induced warfare is common among primitive species." But long-range sensors told a different story. Human ships continued to move between systems. New colonies appeared on previously uninhabited worlds. Construction never stopped. Admiral Chen had warned them. Humans had spent their entire existence shouting into an uncaring universe. They had learned to find their way by dead reckoning when all other navigation failed. They had developed languages by the hundreds, each group finding new ways to communicate when separated by distance or disaster. The Council had tried to silence them, but humans had never needed permission to speak. In the depths of human space, on a mining station orbiting a nameless star, Engineer Maria Santos jury-rigged a quantum transmitter from salvaged parts. Her message reached Earth in 3 days, faster than Council communications. On the agricultural world of New Hokkaido, linguist Dr. James Okafor and his team cracked the encryption on abandoned alien communication relays. Within a month, they had established contact with a dozen human colonies. Children on Luna Station created a new sign language that could be transmitted through simple light pulses. It spread through human space faster than the Council could have imagined. The silence they had imposed became humanity's greatest strength. Cut off from the galactic, internet human creativity exploded. They invented new forms of communication, developed technologies the Council had never conceived of, and most importantly, they did it all without asking anyone's permission. 18 months after Protocol 7's implementation, the Council received an unexpected transmission. It came on frequencies they didn't recognize, using mathematics that hurt their minds to contemplate, and it was broadcasting from inside their own secure communication network. The message was simple. We tried to tell you. Admiral Chen's image, materialized in the center of the Council chamber, transmitted through systems that should have been impossible to hack. She looked exactly the same as the day they had voted to silence her people. You wanted to cut us off, she said, addressing the stunned assembly. You succeeded, but you forgot something important about humans. We've always been alone out here. You just made it official. Behind her, holographic displays showed the scope of humanity's expansion during their isolation. Hundreds of new colonies, technological leaps that defied conventional science, trade networks that functioned without any central authority. We don't need your permission to exist, Chen continued. We never did, but now we've proven it to ourselves as much as to you. Keyleth's scales had gone pale white. This is impossible. The neural pathway algorithms alone are based on the assumption that all communication requires centralized infrastructure, Chen interrupted. You built a beautiful system, very organized, very controlled, very vulnerable to anyone who thinks differently. The transmission ended, but the chaos in the Council chamber continued for hours. Emergency sessions were called. Security protocols were reviewed. Ancient texts were consulted for precedents that didn't exist. They had tried to teach humanity a lesson about cosmic hierarchy and their place within it. Instead, they had learned something that would reshape galactic civilization. There were some species that couldn't be silenced, only freed. In the Outer Rim territories, human ships carried a new flag, not of Earth, but of humanity itself. And across the galaxy, the sound of their laughter echoed through communication networks that the Council had never known existed. Networks built from pure human ingenuity and an absolute refusal to be quiet. The Council had tried to silence Earth. Instead, they had given humanity the greatest gift possible, proof that they didn't need anyone's permission to be heard.